I choose Jackie Lee because that is my name leaving Korea.
지금부터 보여드릴 영상에는 1957년 대한민국 인천에서 태어나 미국으로 입양 간 제키 리 씨의 삶이 담겨 있습니다. 한국인인지 흑인인지 스스로도 알 수 없었다는 그녀는 우연히 마주친 한국인의 한마디 때문에 인생이 완전히 바뀌었다고 하는데요. 커다란 울림이 담겨있는 오늘의 이야기가 무엇인지 재미슈의 박다빈이 지금부터 전해드립니다.
My name is Jackie Lee. However, my legal name is Stephanie Blandon. But I choose Jackie Lee because that is my name leaving Korea. I was born in Incheon, Korea, 1957, post-war. I am 65 years old. My earliest memory is a little difficult to put things in chronological order, but I do remember the birth of my younger sister, and I'm 3 years older than her. We lived in a small room above a store on top of a hill. I also remember a black soldier, taking me to the army base, and I can hear the bugle sound, and going to the snack bar. I also remember how cold it was in Korea. My mother threw a pail of water down the steps and it iced over. And I was dancing on top of the steps and fell. And I remember getting a bandage around my head. I still have a scar in my head. And I cherish those memories.
이처럼 한국에 대해 애틋한 기억을 갖고 있는 제키 리 씨가 한국을 떠나게 된 건 미국으로 입양을 갔기 때문이었습니다. 그때의 이야기를 좀 더 자세히 들어보시죠.
I also remember I went to school in the city. This man used to pick me up, take me into the city. I don't know if it was my father or my sister's father. I doubt we have the same father since we're 3 years apart. I have so many memories. It's just, and I play them over and over, but they are starting to fade the older I get. The most profound memory, of course, is the last time I saw my mother. And she bought pastry for me and my younger sister, which we never had, a sweet pastry. And the man who came to pick me up to take me to school, she told him I wasn't going to school that day. My next memory, I'm on a dirt road with my little sister, shanties on one side, and at a distance, there was a convent because I can see nuns walking around in their habits. And then the next memory after that, we're in the backseat of a car. It's nighttime. I could see the city lights passing. We were at Seoul City Orphanage, and then we were transferred to World Vision Orphanage in Incheon. When my adopted parents came to see us, we stayed with them at I don't know if it was a motel or what, for a week. When I met my adoptive mother, I felt a sense of belonging because we were the same brown. And I always felt like because of my younger sister, I was adopted because I was 5 years old. They didn't want to split us. I remember riding in a small plane to Japan. They were in the Air Force and stationed in Japan for a couple of years. Everything changed for me. I had to learn a new language. In our bedroom, they had all these charts and colors and the alphabets. But anyway, life was good in Japan because my mother was a housewife. But when we went to California, they started a church. She was a minister. Life was different once we moved to the States. That's when I was reminded I was different. And I got that mainly from the Black kids at church. It wasn't until recent years, white kids just saw the brown skin and saw me as black. Black kids saw the nuances of my Asian genetics and like, no, you're not one of us. You're Chinaman, Jap. You look like you're asleep, you know, all of that. So I really had issues with my identity. So they were curious. I was ashamed of my nuanced Asian genes. You know, I just wanted to be black.
미국으로 간 후로 자신의 정체성에 대해 고민하게 되었다는 제키리. 입양하라는 사실을 외부에 공개하지 않았던 그녀는 주변 흑인 아이들의 놀림을 받았고 혼란과 수치심에 시달립니다. 이처럼 청소년기에 힘든 시간을 보낸 제키리는 30대가 돼서야 한국인이라는 자신의 정체성에 대해 생각해보게 되었다고 하는데요. 그 계기는 무척 사소한 것이었습니다. 그녀의 인생을 바꿔놓은 사람과의 만남에 대해 함께 들어보시죠.
Somehow, when I saw another Asian, I would not look at them. I always felt that they saw me as dirty. So I would never look at them. It wasn't until my 30s I visited a Korean beauty supply store, and one of the workers said, "You're Korean." It's like, wow. But her and I became friends. That made me feel good. It's like, oh, somebody recognized me as being Korean. And that was the first time I had Korean food. She would cook dinner for me, and she would watch Korean television and invited me to their Christmas party. Everybody was speaking Korean. I didn't understand anything. I'm just there. So my identity, I always said I was black, and I didn't say Korean until they delved further, you know, but what I said, and Korean. And then it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe my 40s or 50s when I started to volunteer, I'm black and Korean, without them asking. When my son, when he was around 12, he bought me a book, a Korean book, because he felt that I needed to get in touch with my Korean culture, my young son, because I didn't know anything about Korean culture. You know, it was denied me. You know, I had this love-hate relationship with Korea, you know, the country that rejected me, because I knew it's because I'm biracial. But I was fortunate enough to go with a group, the Hapa group, 2014 to Korea, and that changed for me. I thought, how can I hate a country that birthed me and possibly hold my mother, my almost soul in her womb? I can't. I can't. And you know, I always told myself, I know my mother loved me, but I never said to myself, I love my mother. And after the 2014 trip, I cried all the way to the airport. As we traveled, you could see all the, you know, the valleys. I said I wanted to go back.
여러분은 고향을 떠나 힘든 일을 겪으신 적이 있나요? 제키리가 어떻게 느꼈을지 상상도 가지 않습니다. 오늘 이야기가 즐거우셨길 바라며 재미슈의 박다빈 많은 성원 부탁드릴게요. 저희 영상이 좋으셨다면 구독과 좋아요, 댓글도 잊지 말아주세요. 감사합니다.